I'm just a replacement, right?
You called yourself a replacement, but to me that's completely wrong. What I mean is... You're like a knight from a storybook, Ko.
It's been exactly a year since Sakurako told me that. She said it while we were writing our first group report during a seminar in the fall of our sophomore year. What's that about? That's a funny comparison. I replied like that, but honestly, I didn't feel bad about it at all. Well, then you must be the princess guarded by the knight. It sounded cheesy, but I was gradually falling for her enough to think something like that. In the spring of our junior year, when I was sure our feelings were mutual, I confessed, and we started dating. We were talking about how it'd be nice to move in together after graduation, and everything was going perfectly fine without any issues. Sakurako?
Huh? Could it be Asahi?
In the spring of our senior year, everything was suddenly shattered. While we were on a date, Sakurako reunited with her childhood friend.
Oh my god, you're back in town?
I knew it was you, Sakurako. Yeah, I went to a university in Yokohama. I'm studying to be a childcare worker, and I was planning to come see you once I actually became one.
You've always wanted to be a childcare worker, that's amazing. But I wouldn't have cared if you hadn't. Oh, this is my boyfriend, Ko Adachi. Ko, this is Asahi Murano. We're childhood friends.
Oh, so you guys haven't seen each other since middle school? Later, when I visited her room at her parents' house, she told me about her childhood friend.
Yeah, we were together since preschool and grew up like siblings. So I never expected us to suddenly be separated in our first year of middle school. It was really a shock back then.
Photo albums were full of pictures of the two of them together. It seemed they were incredibly close.
So, when we parted ways, I was so sad. And Asahi actually told me, let's get married when I come back.
Huh?
Asahi was my first love too, so I ended up saying, I'll be waiting. Looking back now, it's pretty embarrassing.
Sakurako, I'm your boyfriend.
Oh, come on, are you jealous? Of course you are. It was just my first love, and I don't feel anything for him now, it's just... It's been so long. But I'm just so happy that Asahi is still the same Asahi.
Looking at her side profile, I realized something. He was still living inside her heart.
He's straightforward, a bit airheaded sometimes, but kind. And once he decides on something, he goes straight for it. Just like a hero from a storybook.
Then it hit me. I had deluded myself into thinking I was the true hero, but I wasn't. I was just a knight in the hero's party, a mere supporting character, meant to be the underdog. Things moved quickly after that. Sakurako started hanging out with her childhood friend. When I told her I didn't like it, she reluctantly stopped, but to my surprise, she started seeing him behind my back. Part-time job my ass. It even escalated to her sending him complaint messages like, I'm not even cheating, but he's making such a big deal out of it. The moment I saw that message, my heart, which had been forcing itself to accept that she wasn't cheating, completely broke. Let's break up. So, the next time we met, I told her exactly that. It must have been unexpected because she just froze, unable to process it.
What?
Hey, Sakurako, you went to your childhood friend's house the other day, didn't you?
What are you talking about?
I happened to see your messages. Do you remember? That day was my birthday. I don't want to sound pathetic and say I wanted to see you on my birthday, but... Forgetting your boyfriend's birthday, lying to him, and spending it with your childhood friend is just crossing the line.
I'm sorry, I was just so happy we reunited,
And I know you've been meeting him behind my back other times too. I endured it for half a year. Call it lingering affection, but I wanted to believe that if I just held on a little longer, the excitement of your reunion would settle down and you'd come back to me. But I can't do this anymore. Let's break up.
Wait, this is so sudden.
It's not sudden. Besides, you have no reason to stop me, do you? I had been thinking about it for a long time, but I never put it into words until now. I'm just a replacement, right? Because I felt like saying it out loud would make it a reality, but I was an idiot. Reality or not, it had been the reality for a long time. And just like that, I broke up with her. After all, I was just a stand-in for the main character. It was a fittingly pathetic end for a poor, defective substitute who mistakenly thought he was the protagonist.
I had no idea things had gotten that bad.
A few days later, I was at a cafe with my best friend for the first time in a while. So, you didn't know either?
I've been busy with my teaching certification courses this year, so we haven't been in touch much.
She's Miki Kurosawa. We first met at a freshman welcome party back in our first year of university. We bonded after stepping away from the main group, both feeling out of place in an unfamiliar setting. She's very straightforward and not typically girly in a good way, which makes her really easy to be around. I see. That makes sense. Oh, and thanks again for taking the time to see me today. It's my treat, so order whatever you want.
Well, I was just craving something sweet, so I'll have a slice of cheesecake.
It was the first time we had hung out just the two of us since the spring of our junior year, back when I used my relationship as an excuse not to. That's why, feeling once again how comfortable it was to be with her, I spilled out everything that had happened.
You can be quite the poet sometimes. How do you even come up with an analogy like that?
Shut up.
A replacement for the hero, huh? From my point of view, you're more like the actual hero.
Huh?
To put it in your terms, right. Like the emperor of a neighboring country who proposes to the heroine, who reincarnated as the villainess. And in that scenario, Sakurako is the reincarnated saint who is actually the real villain.
Sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. And by the way, who's the villainess in this analogy?
Me. I think I'd be really happy if you became my hero, though.
My hand stopped just as I was about to drink my coffee. What did that mean?
You called yourself a replacement, but to me that's completely wrong. What I mean is, to me, you've always been my number one choice.
My head turned to her stiffly, like a rusty tin man. I looked at her in sheer disbelief, but Miki was calmly ordering from the staff as if she hadn't just said what she had said.
1 cheesecake, please, and a chiffon cake to go.
Wait, since when? Before I started dating Sakuranko, I used to go to Miki for relationship advice. Could it be that I had been doing something incredibly cruel to her? Maybe I should apologize. Just as I was about to open my mouth, realizing I might have unknowingly caused her pain.
Don't apologize. It would be a lie to say it didn't hurt sometimes, but you have no reason to apologize. Because I actually felt a sense of superiority being in the best friend position. As best friends, we'd never break up. And you'd tell me things you couldn't even tell Sakurako.
Miki?
I'm an awful woman, aren't I? That's exactly why the villainous role fits me perfectly. I was totally fine staying in your best friend slot forever, but when you called yourself a replacement, it just slipped out. I'm perfectly happy with where I am right now, so you don't need to worry about my feelings. But just know this, you are not someone's replacement. You are Ko Adachi, an irreplaceable person.
Because we've known each other for a while, I could tell. She truly was satisfied with where she was. I get it. Thank you, Miki.
I already asked for the takeout cake to cover your thanks.
Despite the risk of ruining our relationship, Miki shared her secret for my sake. There was no way I could ever see her as an awful woman. As a humanities senior not taking teaching courses, I barely have any classes. Just a seminar and a psychology lecture I took out of curiosity. Welcome! So, I was pretty much living off my part-time job. After that messy breakup with Sakurako, dragging myself to campus felt like a chore. I hated the thought of seeing Sakurako looking happily at her phone. I had no choice but to throw myself into work to numb my mind. You liar! How was that not scary? That was terrifying. This happened around that time. I had gone to see a horror movie at Miki's invitation. Just like before, since it was what she wanted, I let myself rely on it, and for now, our relationship remained exactly the same.
I mean, sure, it was scary in the middle, but the end was basically an action movie, right?
Even if the ending was like that, the terror from the middle still haunts me. What am I supposed to do? Now I'm gonna be paranoid about looking up or behind me in the shower. Why can I only see Miki as a friend? Thanks to her, I ended up taking morning showers for a week, but Miki helped me keep moving forward without dragging my heartbreak around.
Hey, I want to go buy some winter clothes soon. Want to be my bag carrier?
You're asking way too boldly. My fee is 1 glass of beer. Normally, going to the seminar would be depressing, but now, I felt as long as I kept Sakurako out of my sight, I'd be fine. This was probably thanks to Miki telling me that I wasn't a replacement. I really couldn't thank her enough.
Sorry, I drank a bit too much.
And after fulfilling my duties as a bag carrier as promised, she treated me to the equivalent of a beer at a Spanish restaurant on her way back. Now I was walking a staggering Miki home. No, my bad. I should have stopped you.
I don't usually drink wine, so I got carried away. It's my fault.
The red wine there was so rich and mellow, unlike anything I'd ever had, and it was so good. That's why she ended up ordering a second glass. Let this be a lesson. Wine has a higher alcohol content than you think. Here, we're at your place. I've actually been to Miki's place once before with Sakurako. By the way, Miki and Sakurako met before we started dating, and they had become pretty good friends too. I'll go get you some water. Just wait here. I'm letting myself in. I found a bottle of water in the fridge, poured it into a random glass, and brought it to her. Here, can you drink?
Yeah, I can, thanks.
Can you take your shoes off?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I was always jealous of Sakurako.
Miki murmured that out of nowhere after drinking some water and settling down a bit. Hearing a name we hadn't brought up since that day made me realize she was definitely still drunk.
She's such a good girl, isn't she? So innocent and bright. She just lights up the room. If I were to put it in your words, she's exactly the kind of girl who belongs as the heroine of a story. When I first met her, I thought, wow, girls like this actually exist? And at the same time, I knew I could never win against her. I can't smile like she does. I can't make people smile the way she does. And I'm sure she would never ever have thoughts like this.
Her words felt strangely familiar. Oh, right, it was me. Miki had felt the exact same way towards Sakurako as I did towards that childhood friend.
The moment I felt that way, I knew I was destined to be second place. But then, when you asked me for relationship advice, I suddenly thought of something. He doesn't show this side of himself to her. I'm the one he shows his true self to. Even after you started dating her, I was still your #1 confidant. That's why I was happy with being the best friend. Even if I couldn't be your #1, I could be the one who understood you the best. Even though I knew having a woman like me around would make your girlfriend feel terrible.
Idiot, you're way too drunk. Come on, lean on me and get to bed.
Ko is so kind.
I'm always kind, you know? I thought she was coherent, but it turned out she was seriously wasted. I figured getting her to sleep as quickly as possible was for the best. With that thought, I tried to pull her up by her arm, but then...
I love you.
Huh? What? It happened in a split second, but there was no mistaking it. That was a kiss. By the time I could find my voice, Miki was already fast asleep. My mind went completely blank from shock, but the only thing I could think of was that I couldn't just leave this drunk girl passed out on the floor. So I somehow managed to carry her to her bed and left her apartment, but even after I left, her warmth lingered on me. A week had passed since then. Miki didn't seem to remember what happened and acted completely normal around me. Meanwhile, I couldn't stop being hyper aware of her presence. Miki, you're here too? At my university, thesis deadlines are in January, so in December, a lot of seniors practically live in the library. I had come to look for references, and it seemed Miki was here for the same reason.
Hey, someone's been looking for you lately.
Well, we were never the type to constantly stick together anyway. I didn't talk to her much inside, and after we both finished our work, we bumped into each other on the way out and walked home together. That's when Miki casually brought it up. Looking for me? Who?
I guess you really didn't know. It's Sakurako.
What?
She contacted me, asking how is Ko doing?
That was news to me. I had noticed her giving me "I want to talk" looks during that seminar, but I assumed it was just because things were awkward between us. I already blocked her everywhere, so even if she sent something, I wouldn't have noticed.
So I just texted her back saying I didn't know. She knows that's impossible, though, so she probably got the hint that you have absolutely nothing to say to her. We're heading into winter break soon, so you should be fine, but be careful. There's a chance she might try to see you in person.
Got it. The cold wind slipped between us as we walked through the city, which had completely switched into Christmas mode. December, right before winter break. With a lingering bad feeling, I headed back to my hometown.
Ko!
Then came the first day of classes in the new year. As I walked out of my apartment to head to the seminar, Sakurako was waiting right outside. What do you want?
I'm sorry. I thought if I waited here today, I could finally see you.
I'm just a college student. I definitely don't have the money to move just to avoid Sakurako. I figured she'd either show up here or at my part-time job, and it turned out to be my apartment. Letting out a heavy sigh, I felt exhausted already.
You see, I really wanted to apologize to you properly.
Now? Forget it. If that's all, I'm leaving.
Wait! There's one more thing. Do you think we could start over?
Excuse me? My emotionally charged voice made Sakurako flinch. I had never acted like this in front of her before, so it must have scared her. Seriously? What is this about? You suddenly missing your replacement? Even I'm getting pissed off now.
That's not it! To me, you became my number one a long time ago.
Sakurako's voice echoed loudly. Both her yelling in a place like this and the content of her words disgusted me, making my scowl deepen.
It's true what you said. At first, I was drawn to you because you looked like Asahi. But Asahi was just a person from my memories, and I never thought I'd see him again. So when we actually reunited, I got carried away. It felt like destiny, like he was my Prince Charming, but it wasn't like that at all. Asahi actually had a lot of other girls he was close to. And they were all pretty, and they all supposedly loved Asahi. Asahi? Who are these people?
This happened about a month after we broke up. In an atmosphere where Sakurako had no doubt they would start dating, she was suddenly introduced to these women. Sakurako is very precious to me, so I want to introduce you all. Everyone, these are my girlfriends.
Huh?
I met them in high school, college, and at my part-time jobs. They all told me they liked me, so we're officially dating. Everyone, let me introduce you. This is Sakurako, my childhood friend.
Oh, so you're the one. It's nice to meet you, Sakurako. Nice to meet you.
They're all my girlfriends, but the most important person to me is you, Sakurako. I've already told everyone that you're the one I'm going to marry. Sakurako, I originally planned to come get you after I started working, but since we're reunited, I don't want to even imagine you dating another guy again. So, it's a bit early, but will you be my girlfriend?
I agreed to date him because he said I was his number one, but the longer we dated, the more wrong everything felt.
Basically, her childhood friend had turned into a scumbag who had unknowingly built a harem for himself. Not wanting to cause any more of a scene in the neighborhood, I listened to her story as we walked toward the seminar, but honestly, there was only one thought running through my mind. And?
So I realized it. Yes, at first you were a replacement for Asahi, but before I knew it, you had become my number one. No matter what I did with Asahi, I kept thinking, if it were Ko...
This is ridiculous. So what you're saying is, I only look good to you because your childhood friend turned out to be trash, right?
No! I truly realized that I love you.
And what do you want me to do about that? I can't trust you anymore, and I will never fall for you again. In fact, I'm starting to doubt if you even stayed loyal while we were together. Sakurako's eyes darted away. So she is guilty. Huh, figured. Especially with a guy who builds a harem. It'd be weirder if nothing happened, right?
No, it wasn't like that. When I went over to his place to cook for him, we just got caught up in the moment and kissed a little.
Right. So that's the kind of person you are. You didn't just lie and meet up with your childhood friend. You literally cheated on me, hid it, and still tried to stay with me? Wait, so the reason you came today is because you broke up with him, right? Don't tell me you tried to get back with me while still dating him.
I'm sorry.
Funny. I can't trust a single word you say, yet somehow I believe this instantly. I despise you even more now. There's not a single chance in hell we'll ever get back together, so don't ever talk to me again. With that, I started walking toward the station. From behind me, a faint, almost vanishing voice called out.
Do you like Mickey?
At the very least, she's a far better woman than you. I didn't know the true intention behind her question. The only thing I knew for sure was the truth of my answer. That was all I wanted to convey, and with that, I left her behind. In the end, Sakurako didn't show up for the seminar, but since all that was left was submitting our thesis, it wasn't really a problem. Maybe I should treat myself today. And today was finally thesis submission day. Just as I was basking in the relief of being done, a familiar face stopped me at the main gate. Sakurako's ex, perfect timing. Have you seen Sakurako? I completely lost contact with her recently. Looking at him, he seemed like the picture of a nice young man, and to his credit, his worry was probably genuine. No idea. I see. I did notice she was acting less energetic lately, but I wondered what happened. Today is the thesis submission deadline too, right? I hope she's okay. We're going to get married, so I wish she'd tell me everything. I had no obligation or reason to involve myself with him anymore, but hearing those words, I couldn't help but interject. Are you seriously saying that? Huh? I heard about it. You have 3 other girlfriends, right? And you're seriously talking about marriage? Well, I know our relationship is unconventional, but everyone involved agreed to it. I don't know about the other girls, but do you really think Sakurako is truly okay with it? Let alone actually wanting to marry a guy like that? Did Sakurako tell you that? No, but she said something pretty close to it. In fact, just last week, she came to my place and begged to get back together, saying I was better. What? Don't tell me you cheated. Huh? You're the one who cheated, you bastard. Don't lump me in with you. Oh. I heard all about it. You kissed Sakuranko while she was still dating me. To begin with, calling out a girl who already has a boyfriend is just wrong. That alone proves how dishonest you are. It couldn't be helped. Sakuranko was my first love, and I've liked her for so long. I'm not denying your feelings, but making a move on someone who's already taken is wrong, period. Who in their right mind would want to marry a guy who builds a harem and cheats? You literally just got furious at the mere thought that Sakuranko might have cheated with me. It seemed he finally understood after having it spelled out for him. What the hell did she even see in a guy like this? With this guy as the benchmark, I can see why even I look better to her. I have no right to judge a polyamorous relationship if everyone genuinely agrees to it. But you couldn't even realize the true feelings of your number one girl. It makes me seriously doubt if the others are actually okay with it too. See ya. With that, I turned and walked away, finally heading off for that slightly extravagant dinner. While I was thinking about inviting Miki, that guy was left standing there, drowning in despair and regret. Now, as for what happened to Asahi Murano after that. So, because of all that, I'm so sorry everyone. Finally realizing the gravity of his actions, he immediately disbanded his harem. For the sake of his future with his number one Sakuranko, he bowed his head and broke up with every single one of them. Sakuranko, I'm so sorry. I broke up with everyone. I even blocked their numbers. Then, he incessantly called Sakuranko. When she finally answered, he pleaded with her, but it was already too late.
I'm sorry. I can't be with someone who can maintain relationship with multiple women, and I can't stand someone who cheats.
But from now on, it'll strictly only be you. You've always been the most important to me, Sakuranko. I wanted to be a man worthy of you. I wanted to be a kind man for you.
Is it because I told you a long time ago that I liked kind men? If so, you completely misunderstood. What you did wasn't kindness at all. No matter how straightforward you are, how natural yet gentle you seem, or how determined you are once you decide on something. To me, if you aren't sincere, you can't be called kind, and you definitely aren't a wonderful person.
As Sakuranko said those words, the image that came to her mind was me, angrily yelling at that guy in front of the main gate. On the day of the thesis submission, she had watched me get mad on her behalf.
Besides, I already realized that I fell in love with Ko a long time ago. Not that I can get back together with Ko anyway, but I can't date you anymore, Asahi. Goodbye.
No way. For Asahi Murano, dating multiple women was what he genuinely thought was an act of kindness. However, simply never saying no is not true kindness. If everyone had truly consented, it might have been a different story, but in reality...
Found you? Yeah!
The truth was, some of them never truly agreed to it. And so, Asahi Murano, who thought he was the hero of his own story surrounded by a harem of beautiful women, was stabbed by one of his harem members and left critically injured. He had to give up on his dream of becoming a childcare worker, which, honestly, considering he's the type of guy to build a harem, was a huge win for society. The culprit was later charged with attempted murder and sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Right. So it's finally settled then.
As for me, to enjoy my slightly extravagant dinner, I invited Miki to an Italian restaurant. Yeah, pretty much. Once again, thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I was able to bounce back way faster than I expected.
If watching a horror movie and being my bag carrier helped, then I'm glad. Having a best friend like me isn't too bad, right?
About that, Miki, actually, we...
Huh?
And that's how we started dating. Ever since she kissed me that night, I couldn't help but see Miki purely as a woman. Maybe it makes me simple-minded, but if a single kiss can completely kill off feelings, I don't think it's weird that the exact opposite could happen too.
Sorry, did you wait long?
No, I just got here myself. Even now, having graduated and entered the workforce, our relationship is going smoothly. Every character in a story has a designated role. But even if you're meant to be the underdog in a harem adventure, there's always a chance you could become the hero in a villainous story.
I wonder what kind of ring I should get.
Whatever you want. Let's buy the one you like best, Miki. So, in a way, everyone is the protagonist. Even if your personality isn't suited for the lead role, you are undoubtedly the main character of your own life.
Oh my! Maybe I'll pick out a really expensive one then. After all, I used to be the underdog villainess.
What a coincidence. Actually, I used to be the underdog knight. We look at each other and burst out into laughter at the sheer absurdity of it. Amidst the bustling crowd, the protagonist, the heroine, and the villainess of my life were all right here.
Oh, Brittany here. You know what? I really think that's how all harem stories should end. But to each their own. I loved it. It was a beautiful ending. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.